Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is doing amazing. Today, I decided to do this video because I just want to share some thoughts while I'm finishing this artwork. So, in here, as you can see, I started this artwork from zero. The whole concept of starting from zero, and I know that's a big thing because at some point in our life, we have to start somewhere, and that somewhere might mean starting from zero. I know it could be very discouraged and it could be very long, isolated moment. But when you embrace the journey of enjoying that process, uh, that can make a big difference. And usually, I encourage my friends, people I know, and in most videos that I make, you're gonna notice that I'm a big fan of trying to be positive, trying to do our best, trying to see the good things. And of course, I'm not gonna say that we don't have moments that we are gonna feel sad, depressed, lonely. We are humans, and that's the reality of being a human. We're gonna have moments that we are gonna be happy, or the moments we might gonna be a little sad. Let's just put it that way. And because of that, a lot of people sometimes they give up on their dreams, they give up in a lot of things, their families and everything. And I'm not gonna say that you're gonna drain your life trying when something is not working. However, you have to understand good things take time. Nothing comes from one day to another, and a lot of sacrifices also need to be done in the whole process of getting somewhere. Because what one person defines as success, for another person that could be like a totally nightmare. So define in your life success. What is it that you want to achieve in life? I also encourage you to, when you're defining that, be clear in relation to your thoughts and exactly what that vision look for you. Because think about it, in my situation, I grew up being really poor. So at this stage of my life, I don't take anything for granted because I appreciate the food, the house, the water I drink, everything, my friends, everything. And also, I don't take people for granted either because that's another thing. Because I value when somebody gives me their time, their support, everything, because I know what it is not to have all those things. And I also know what it is once you have it, when you have that person there for you, when you have those basic needs met, we are having to worry. So don't take anything for granted. In this artwork, you can see like there is a starting. I started with a white canvas, with a blank canvas, and little by little I'm creating this art. In life, create your own life, create your own art. This painting, as you can see, has a lot of color, has a lot of character, but also you're gonna find in it those little details that sometimes we have to stop and see it. But when you see the painting as a whole, you see the beauty in it. However, if I would have been missing those little details that I'm adding in this artwork, probably you wouldn't see all the beauty that you can perceive at this moment. And probably you can see in this artwork as well weird characters in here, as you can see, like the way I paint is kind of, I don't know, I love it, but is for some people that probably is not their choices. For me, illustrating things that probably you cannot capture in a device. Let me just put it that way. You can capture a beautiful picture with your camera, and it's beautiful. And by the way, I'm very big fan of any type of art or whatever artists decide to do, because everybody had their own talent in their own way. But personal for me, the way I love painting is capturing what my thoughts are telling me to do, and that's what I love doing. And that's why you're gonna see in some of my paintings like those weird characters. In this one, as you can see, the flowers, I don't know if they look like a flower or not, but to me that's what I want to put in Canva. this little character in here in the side, to me, that is what makes this composition very unique, because it's totally different how these little things ended up in here. So the same thing applies in life. In life, we're gonna encounter things that doesn't make sense to us, and believe it, we don't have to have an answer. In here, in this painting, I don't have an answer for every character that I'm putting in here, but I love what I see. What I have in here is part of me, in part of who I am, and because of that, adding in here. So the same thing applies in your life. You have things that are very unique to you, situations that are very you and only you. So love those little details, even those little details might be hard to explain. We don't have to understand everything. We just have to try our best. Continue enjoying your journey and giving up on yourself, enjoying every little moment. And when I say enjoy, is everything, meaning we're gonna have moments that we are gonna feel sad, that we're gonna feel giving up, that things are gonna come into our life, and we're gonna be scared. And it is okay to be scared. It's okay to understand and to know that we have feelings. That's why I always say, when I say enjoy the journey, I don't mean that we're just gonna be happy every single moment, but in those sad moments also, for you to understand that it is okay to have those moments, and that's part of being human. Having those moments, but also if you have the right skills, and that's something that we learn through life, doing a lot of work, mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. um we are gonna accept when something goes wrong, and we are not gonna fight back. We're just gonna go trying our best and understanding that if something goes wrong and it's something that is out of our power, the only thing that you can do is just to do your best, and that's all. Okay. And that's something that I learned throughout the years, because believe it or not, we learn through making mistakes, learning, going back on track, trying our best. Life is like that. Life is about, we sometimes go down and sometimes we go up. And I just feel like having the ability or the skills to go back on track, and the strength, let me just put it that way, having the strength to go back on track, that's huge. So there are a lot of things that we cannot disregard in relation to what we're discussing today. Doing the things I love, because not everything is a career. Sometimes you might have people that they might have very successful career, and I know all of that is based on a lot of sacrifices that they have to do. And believe it or not, we all have to do some sacrifices at some point in our life. However, those sacrifices, if we at the beginning understand the hope notches that we can try to achieve goals doing things, but also to have a balanced life. Because I've been seeing a lot of, and I'm guilty myself of that, to be honest. I don't want to, I just gonna throw myself there. Sometimes, like when we start doing something, we sacrifice a lot of things, and we, like I said, especially if you had to start from zero in your life. And in several instances in my life, I had to start from zero, and it's hard, and it is painful, and it is a lonely journey. Just let me put it that way, lonely journey. And but those are the little details that make the person that you see today. And the same thing will happen to you. Those little details that are very unique to you are the one that create the person you are today. So we cannot disregard that. It is the reality. There are a lot of sacrifices that need to get involved in order to accomplish something. But this is something that we learn as we go. Because if somebody would have told me this, I don't know, many years ago, probably that would be a different story. However, looking things in a different perspective, um, we all had to go through different things in our life, because you can tell me to do something one way, and I'm not telling anybody how to run their life. But I'm saying is, I can tell you, oh, this is a good way that you can kind of have a more stable life or more balanced life. But if you never been through things, you kind of, you know, it's really easy to disregard. So once you go through your own journey and you see the struggles and you see the everything that it comes with everything, um, you will understand. But at least now, if you don't take anything from this video, at least take this. Be open to have a balanced life, even if you're starting from zero. Because when you focus on just one thing, either a career, either only a relationship, either on something, you're gonna screw really bad, unfortunately. And what I say screw really bad is, you might achieve what you want, but then you're gonna see how behind you are in other things. You might achieve an amazing career, but then probably your relationships are gonna suffer. You time with yourself, your time to figure out who you are as a person, not only as a career person, but as a person as a whole. That is gonna suffer. So that's why I feel like it is so important to kind of find balance on everything. And in this painting, you can see this. Like I started this painting, I love it. It's weird because the way I paint is kind of, I myself say, oh, I myself, the way I paint is kind of weird, because I love being very myself and putting my thoughts the way I want it. Sometimes I don't even look at pictures. I just, most of my paintings, to be honest, most of my paintings, I don't look at pictures or anything. I just kind of put my thoughts on what is coming into my brain and what I see. However, I have to tell you, I spend a lot of time outside and I kind of absorb everything. When I'm outside in nature, I love watching the tree. I love just feeling, perceiving, understanding what I'm seeing in front of me. I don't take anything for granted, to be honest. I don't know, as I'm getting older and older, I realize every little thing in life matters to me. The people that I have in front of me, the people that I have around me, the things that I feel blessed to have. And when I say the things, I mean basic need things being met. And that's something that I learned to appreciate throughout the years, and throughout seeing things, throughout struggling, throughout a lot of things. But at the end, I feel very blessed that I can be sitting here telling you or sharing uh, this with you, to create a little awareness that balancing your life is so important, because at the end, we can end it out with a beautiful career, we can end it out with a lot of beautiful things, but if you don't have a balance, I think that you're gonna crash somewhere. And the same thing happens with everything in life. It's not only with a career. Like, as you can see, life is what it is. We don't live only on air. We don't live only on one thing. We depend to survive many things. So the same thing should apply to how we perceive the world, and how we not only perceive it, but how we go, how we navigate the world as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And with that, I just gonna conclude. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I'll see you in my next video. God bless you all.